Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike from Mike's Rockin' Relics, and it is raining right now, and I'm outside here at my studio and just sitting on the porch under cover, but I got pretty wet getting out here. It is pouring, and I don't know if you can hear that rain. But I wanted to come on and just say a few things. The news has come out about the retirement of Aerosmith, and I just want to talk a little bit about what that means and some of the significance of that today. And I felt compelled to do a short video, so stay tuned. So with the news of Aerosmith's retirement and Steven Tyler's vocals now being a little bit to the point where he can no longer sing and perform concerts and tour, this does drastically kind of alter the landscape of rock and roll. And here's a band that's been around for 50 years, and I dare say I don't know how many other bands will ever hit the 50-year mark. And I think this is something that is going to be a thing of the past. I don't think music has the staying power it once did. I don't think the artists are as talented as they once were. And the rock and roll era, the reason some of these bands are still popular and are still going, in my mind, is because they were just better bands. They were better musicians, they were better songwriters. They wrote songs that were more timeless and classic than a lot of the music that you're hearing today. I will say that's on the mainstream side of things. I think rock and roll still exists, but you have to look a lot harder to find it. I don't think it'll ever go away, but right now it's certainly not popular. And the reason that these guys are still going after 50 years is there hasn't been something to replace them. And that's a shame in a way, but it's great that we had this opportunity to see the band as many times as we did, and a truly remarkable legacy that they've left as a live act and a recording act. And maybe they haven't put out anything that is earth-shattering even for the last 30 years, but they were still a fantastic live show and had real moments on recordings that were as timeless and classic as some of their earlier work, even if the whole album wasn't. But I think this is a huge void in rock and roll, and I think I'm very fortunate that I had the chance to not only see Aerosmith, but I've met them. It's just one of those bands that for entire generations helped define rock and roll, and I think they're a really important group. I think another thing that needs to be discussed too with Aerosmith is they basically ran with the original lineup, which is pretty cool if you think about 50 years later having the band intact. And yes, there was some times where things crumbled a little bit, certainly in the early 80s, and then in more recent memory, Joey Kramer's been sort of in and out of the lineup a little bit more. But to essentially have the original lineup you started out with 50 years later is commendable, and the fact that they're all still playing at the quality that they were was, I think, pretty incredible. And it just goes to show you the drive and the passion the band had, and the fact that I think a long time ago they decided this was bigger than any of them individually. And even though they've had moments of conflict within the band and things like that, there's this sense of this thing is bigger than us and we better pull it together. Even if it's just for the money or for the fame or whatever they're doing it for, at least they kept it together. And it's a very interesting dynamic that they had as a band, but you could see it on stage that they were very comfortable with each other and they've been through a lot together. So I was sort of saying before, I don't know if these types of bands are going to exist anymore, and I don't think the music industry is set up for it to exist anymore. So it's a pretty rare thing to have seen a band like that. And I'm really glad that I got to at least be there for the second part of it, but I wasn't old enough to be there at the beginning. But the band itself is such a legendary group, and I think will be always remembered as a band that brought rock and roll back to America, and really was a platform for a lot of bands that came after, like the Black Crowes and other bands like that. So when I was 14 years old, I went and bought Get a Grip as it came out in stores, and this is the original CD. I still have it. This CD forever changed the way I listen to bands and the way I sort of approach music, and my tastes in music. And I wasn't really that big into the grunge scene, but that album, Get a Grip, really did alter the way I listened to music, and it made me an Aerosmith fan for life. And I went backwards from that point and got the rest of the catalog and got into them. But huge impact on me, like probably a lot of other people, and they'll be sorely missed. And I think I'm very fortunate to have had the chance to see them and to kind of experience Aerosmith. Aerosmith live is incredible, great, musicians, and it's a sad day that they're no longer going to be doing that, but celebrate the fact that they did it, and that we've had a band that's existed for 50 years. So that's just my rainy day Friday morning thoughts on Aerosmith, and congratulations to the band on a great career, and thanks for watching and tuning in. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you're a big fan of rock and roll and you like records, guitars, and stories about rock and roll, be sure to give us a like and subscribe and ring that bell. It helps us to grow the channel and keep more stuff coming. Thanks a lot.